Hello everyone, this is Mert Öksüz and today we are going to make an amazing, beautiful, awesome, dancey, groovy Afro dance track. So, actually I'm going to show you how I made my latest single, Malade, featuring Talia. And it's an Afro dance track and I had a lot of fun making it, a lot of fun. And the vocals are amazing. I really love how Talia sings and nailed the song. And yeah, this is the first video of the channel, by the way, if you didn't notice in the channel, I guess, I don't know. And the background is a little bit like empty, but over time I will just fill them. So without any delay or any wasting of time, let's dive into the project and let's see how the song sounds like. Yes, that was the demo. That was the little section of the track. You can watch and listen to the full song in the description below. Also, what the f was that? Well, anyways, also there's a clip. There's a 3D clip for this song as well, and it's amazing. You should check it out. Link is in the description. So just let's project. Okay, let's just okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. The easiest part to start a track is just adding a kick, a 4 on the beat kick. We have this basic kick here. In house tracks, we need something to shake our heads, like move our heads up and down. So that's called a groove, and we can add these grooves by adding percussion, adding some loops, adding some anything. I decided to add some percussions like this. And with the kick, it sounds like this. Then I added some drum loops, hi-hats and shakers and such, and they all sound like this together. And all of them sounds like this. And lastly, to emphasize this offbeats, I added this tom. And all the drum stops going to the sidechain. They are triggered by kick, and you can hear this as well and see this in the compression. So after the drums, we had this guitar, a classic guitar in the studio, and I just got it in my hand and just try to play some groovy muted sounds, and this is what I came up with. Basically, it has some EQ for just getting these low frequencies and harsh frequencies, and my friend Iberk added some thermal to really distort and bring the life out in this guitar, and this is what it sounds like with thermal. And without it. You can hear there's a volume difference and the harmonic difference as well. And then I added some OTT, some spiff. This is a transient shaper, and you can boost transients or cut transients. It's very simple to use. I love this OX Sound. OX Sound, am I saying it correctly? I don't know. OX Sound plugins. I have Suit as well, which is amazing. These two plugins are really amazing. So I added some transients with spiff, which sounds like this. Without the plugin, it sounds like this. And with the plugin, it sounds like this. As you can hear in guitar, we have this pick noise coming from the microphone. So I wanted to emphasize the pick noise, so I just used this transient shaper to really like add a little bit more punch to this instrument. Then we have some suits to clean up the resonances. An auto filter for automation later, and then FUB filter gates for just cleaning up the noise, and some Pro Q to tame the sound a little bit and add some tonality. And with the drums and guitar, the song sounds like this. Nice. Then also we need to add bass, because we are making electronic music, and where is the bass, right? So I used the Diva for sub bass, and it sounds like this. And there's only like one thermal on it to really distort the sound, and without it, it sounds like this. Yeah, the bass is playing the same groove from the percussion, I guess. Yes. So the kick, bass, and percussions, like low percussions, really need to sound together. So this is why I put almost the same notes and same groove on the sub bass with the percussions, and they sound really smooth together. And after the bass, I just added the vocals. While we were trying to make the beat of the song with Iberk, Talia just listened to us and wrote some very quick stuff, and she was like, yeah, I'm done. And we were like, wait, just hold on a second, we didn't even finish the verse yet. And so we just made a little demo and record her vocals, and this is how they sound like in solo.
Rhythm slipping into my wings, make it ready, don't pull a face. Right.
It's really simple. There's just one lead channel and two background channels. Back vocals are panned left and right, and they're just doubles, not harmonic back vocals. And for starters, let's start with the lead vocal. It's very simple. We just recorded it, edit this, and I put it auto-tune. Then add some, like, let's see what I did here. Added some compression. I'm not really familiar with these compressions, but I try to use like a lot of plugins to learn them. So I remember I was picking up some presets. I just selected the preset and I tweaked it to my liking, and this was it. This sounds good. And then I added the best denoiser ever. It is Eosys E2 de-esser. This de-esser is like very smooth, very transparent, and I think this is the best one that I tried by myself. Then we have this CLA vocals plugin, which is like really doing not so much, but just boosting treble, some compression, like a little bit of space, giving it, oh no, the reverb is closed, a little bit of slap delay, and nothing much. Then an EQ to just get this resonant frequencies here and cutting lows, and Suit, my best plugin ever, just taming low mids, as you can hear. Let's just hear them.
Rhythm slipping into my wings. Make it ready, don't pull a face. Why so sad now? Sweet joy, my life, sweet joy.
So the low mids were fighting with sub bass and kick a little bit, so I just wanted to get them out of the way and make it more cleaner, make the vocals more cleaner. So this is why I use this. Then some virtual mix rack to add some air in very high frequencies. And that's it for the vocals. Like all the vocal processing chain, all the vocal tracks are the same, except we have some little EQ changes and little reverb changes, but all the processing is the same on all other tracks, back vocals and other vocal channels as well. So after the verse, of course, there's pre-chorus, and as you can see, I marked everything in Ableton. So my verse, my pre-chorus, my drop, verse to pre-chorus, bridge and stuff, because it's very easy to work with this. You need to organize yourself to work quickly as possible. Let's say you're working on this project and you get bored and you're not working on this for like 4 or 5 days. After you open your project, you can feel like kind of lost. To prevent that, you need to group your tracks like this and rename them and color them, and use markers to really organize your tracks. So in the pre-chorus, I removed some of the loops and kick because we need some contrast. In order to really impress the listener, we need to have contrast and we need to have like silence and music all together. And when you take out some elements out of the track, you just create more space and breathing space for the listener, and you just create contrast. So from verse to pre-chorus, drums sounds like this. As you can see, the dancey part of the, like the punch part of the drums are just gone, and it's like more, it just gives you more space and to work with other stuff in this section. And in pre-chorus we have this long basses, because I didn't want like groovy stuff in here. I just wanted to relax and prepare the listener to the drop of the song, and this is how the basses sound like together in the pre-chorus. There's just 3 layers, and we have this bass from Arturia. It is CZV, and the preset called Brassion. And I added some OTT, cut some lows, and I added some reverb here. I just parallel processed it to control the lows of the reverb. Then I added some Suit to control the lows as well in this first layer. The first layer sounds like this, by the way. It's the subby part of the bass, and this is the mid layer. It's from Legends with just EQ and Suit, nothing really crazy. And the third layer is our top layer, which is from Miniv. Some EQ, some compression, and some Suit to really compress and control this bass frequencies. So after this, I have these vocals here, which are the same process, just some minor changes I will show you. This is the vocal sounds like.
They call me Malade.
So as you can hear, there is like something going on in the back of the vocal. That's the delay of the vocal. So there are a lot of creative techniques that you can use to achieve some fullness in your mixes. One of them is just adding formatted or transposed delay in vocals, which you can use Valhalla delay or anything actually to do this. You just have to be able to pitch this section here. As you can see, there is a shift section in Valhalla, and the settings are just very normal, like very generic settings. I just use the shifts to pitch the vocal, and the delay sounds like this. And it gives fullness to the vocal, as well as the back vocal. It's just formatted down. Nothing crazy. And lastly, we have this melody here. This is our drop melody. This is the main melody of the song, and this melody is very important. We need to introduce it before the drop comes, because when you add the main element in a I'm good. When you add a main element in a track, that can be a little hard for the listener. So if you introduce the melody of the main lead or main part of your song before the drop, like in the pre-chorus or intro, it will be more smoother transition to the drop. So let's hear my main melody in this song. It is this melody here. It's writing Omnisphere, but it's actually Serum. So it is this melody that I will come back into this later, but for now I just copied this section and pasted it over here, and just added this auto filter here and automated it. As you can see, it just opens up in time, so it will be a smoother transition for the drop, and the listener can expect what's coming in the drop, and they won't be surprised when the drop hits. So the filter automation sounds like this. Yep, and if you're wondering how I did this reverb tail on the lead, it's actually not on a lead track, it is actually on the master channel, and it is Endless Smile by Dada Life, and I just automated the intensity of this plugin, and as you can see over here, this is the intensity, and when the drop comes, the plugin just opens up and space is given by the plugin. It's sucking you in the track. As you can see, I have this automation, it just closes before the drop, and also I have the same technique that I use in the vocals to suck to suck the listener into the track, and you can use a reverse sample or reverse your leads to do that. And I just got my first note here, added a bunch of reverb and reversed it, flattened it and reversed it, and it sounds like this. Nothing crazy, just your normal regular reverse sounds. So about the lead in the main melody, I used Serum. It's from Evolution of Sound Pack. It's a very simple sound. It's just three oscillators with some saw waves, and the difference is actually the effects here. And let me just show you. If I close all the effects, the sound will sound like this. Just like nothing impressive about this. So first of all, we need to have some 3D mix in 3D dimension in the mix. If something is just so upfront, you need to put some ambience and reverb to make it go back. Okay, when you add just a room reverb, it sounds like this. And then I added some compressed room reverb, which you can find by typing compressed room reverb in Ableton, and it changed a lot. Look at this. So this is the before, and this is the after. Like a lot of things changed, right? The sound is more like 3D and more like it just sucks you in. Let's continue. I added an EQ to just tame the harsh frequencies. Also, not just give a tone to a sound to the song, and add this data life for automation over here and some other places, and delay automation in I don't know where, who knows. This is a big project. And then some reverb automation as well, and some EQ to just tame the sound. And yep, and we have these layers over here. After I did this melody, I didn't think it was quite powerful, and it didn't really feel good. So I added some layers from, I believe, yeah, Repro. Yep, all Repro, and the layers sounds like this. What the f? My space? Bro, my space keys. What the f? My space key is broken right now. Let me try to fix this. Come on. Come on. Yep. Okay, fixed. Alright. Engineer. So the lead sounds like this, layers. As you can hear, they are so similar to the main melody, but there's like a little difference in tonality. So it just adds character to it. And I just added some OTT and reverb and EQ to like tame and tone the sound. Nothing too crazy about them. They sound like this in solo. And all together they sound like this. Yep. So the guitar, as you can see, just plays here as well. And I wrote this melody, and as you can see, like this part is melody and this part is space, like silence. Why is that? Because the concept is you need a question and you need an answer. So in here we have a question, and in here we need an answer. And how we can do that is we can add another element. We can add a percussion, we can add another instrument, we can add another melody, counter melodies. But in this song I added some percussions to fill this gap, to answer this question. So if you say this is a question, then these drums are the answer to this question. So let's hear them in solo. They sound like this. So with the lead, they sound like this. As you can hear, it's all about contrast. You know, you don't need to continue to play an instrument all the way just because it sounds good or it feels good. You sometimes need to cut some pieces and just remove them and add another pieces to make the track exciting. Because at the end of the day, a listener wants to be excited just by listening to the track. They don't want to get bored, and you don't want to get bored. So this is a good way to make the track sound like not boring, like fun. So altogether they sound like this. Nice. In the second part of the drop, almost everything just stays same. Just some loops are getting in here in the drums section. Some claves, claves, timbales, I don't know. They sound like this. Yes, and in the second part, there's this vocal chop coming in from Talia. I edited the part that she's saying, ah, oh my god, my voice just... The processing is the same, just like some reverb and delay added to it. And it sounds like this. Yes, as you can hear, this is the last phrase of the drop. It's always good to have the last phrase or last section, like the last part, a little bit different from the rest of the drop, because it gives you the feeling that drop is ending and another section is coming. So after that, we have this little break here, which sounds like this. This part is just a small gap for listener to just breathe, take a break, take a small break from the song, and just prepares the next section. So almost everything is copy pasted here in verse and pre-chorus part. Besides the vocals just change, but nothing much, just some back vocals and stuff. And then we have this bridge part. So let's hear how it transitioned to the bridge, and I'm sure you're gonna love it because I love it too. Let's hear how bridge sounds like. Yes, it is very emotional. I think it's amazing. I really like this bridge part of the song because it just gets you in completely different vibe. It just makes you like go like, wow, what's happening? And so let's go ahead and dive into the bridge part. So bridges, what are bridges? Bridges are some mechanical engineering things. No, they're not. In order to like transition to bridge parts, I use this LFO rated, like arpeggiated LFOs from Serum, which sound like this. So how I did that? It's very simple. I just played my main chord here, and then I added an arpeggiator over here, and I just arpeggiated the rates. Normally the arpeggiator is in sync mode. I just press the free mode and play with the rates. As you can hear, let me just close all these filters, mute all these filters, and show you how this rates function does. So you can really play around and get your taste and give your taste to this and make something unique. Then, as you can see, I have this serum, which is my main sound. Then I have this another serum, which is the white noise. So I feel like there was like some high end missing in the track and missing in the sound, and I added white noise to make that high end. Yep. Then there's an EQ and there's some filters to make this transition smoother. There's an automation, like it's cutting the lows and opening the lows back. At the same time, there's this highs, cutting the highs and opening the highs. And lastly, there's this roam reverb, which I love in ambient, big ambient voices and synths. After that, we have this piano section, which I wrote using my MIDI. You can see it right now, but it's not really complicated piano. It's a simple piano, but it's very effective. It's from Grandeur, from Contact, and the piano sounds like this with OTT, some reverb, some EQ for highs, some SOO to control low mids and high mids, I believe, yeah, mids, yes. And yep, some tonal EQ, and the piano sounds like this. Yep, and with the pianos, I added some strings, which really gives so much emotion to the track. And for the strings, I used Spitfire Albion 1 strings from Contact, and put some J.J. Pay, Jack Joseph Puig, string and keys, and there's this preset here that I used. And so let me tell you something about humanizing the strings and pianos. So I always do this. So when I play a piano, or when your friend or when you play a piano, and when you record it, just don't go and quantize it to 100%. It's gonna make it like robot. You're not a robot. Nobody can play this any instrument so perfect that it fits all the grids, because perfect is always not good. So in this case, when you play a piano, it needs to sound natural. If you can't play it really right, don't go ahead and quantize to 100%. Go ahead and quantize to like 50% or 60%. This way it will be more in the rhythm, but it will stay a little more natural, a little more human. So this is why I did what I did with this piano. And also in the strings sounds like this all together. So as you can hear, there's like some expression going on here, and there's like little volume automations. If you listen to like very basic or very like any violin or a string player or an orchestra, they never go like ba ba ba. Forgive my bad voice, but yeah. So they never go like that. They always like add some expression, like da, da, da. They play quietly, they play loudly, they play loud, and they play quietly, and it just creates a contrast. Like the key is contrast here. What you can do is you can add some volume automation in utility in Ableton. So I added some volume automation, as you can see over here. So this way the strings just starts quietly and gets louder and gets quiet and gets louder. Like as you can hear, like every note transition, there's almost an expression to the notes. There's this synth section as well for the bridge, and altogether they sound like this. I added this filter to like rise them up in the bridge section, because in the second half of the bridge, as you can like see over here, there's this big lead coming in, and I want everything to sound epic and open, and like I need the listener to feel a lot of things in that section. So this is why I started with filter and then opened them up. And the part that I think you guys are waiting for is this big part, the bridge lead here. So there are a lot of effects, as you can see, but they're just simple effects, not crazy effects. So I remade Rufus the Soul's Inner Bloom song like a year ago, and I get this preset from there. It's a serum, it's a very basic serum preset with some like automations and some simple stuff over here with very simple effects. It's so let me just show you something. If I just close this reverb over here, it will sound so boring. Like I'll just put everything open, but if I close this reverb, which is Rome, it will sound like this. It is so like, it just hurts my ears. So but there's a solution for that. Every time you put a big reverb with a lot of wetness in it, it will make the sound smoother, because it will just make this harsh frequency smooth and make it more listenable. And especially in this one, if you put a big reverb, it will just sound like huge. Like listen to this. There's amazing difference here, and all I did is just added some EQ and EQ it again, just simple EQs like some soothe to tame low ends and harshness in the mids, some EQ again, some OTT, some air here I believe. Let's see, yes, yep, some air here and some EQ again. So all together, also there's this vocal chops in bridge which sound like this together. Simple, not crazy, and all of them sound like this. And in the last section of the bridge, I added these drums to really feel the listener something is coming and something is like hyping the track, and this is how it sounds like. And the drop is just the same as the first one. It just has some like these vocals from the bridge and this bridge synths as well. And also let me see if there's something. No, nothing extra. There are some extra loops here. And in the second part of the drop, it sounds like this. All together it sounds like this. Yep, that's simple. And for the effects, I like to add my effects when the song is done, because I need these effects to fit in the song so well that it won't be noticeable. And there's this ambient effects here to give some emotion as well. As you can hear, as you can see, they're just all in pattern. I just copied and pasted them when I found a correct pattern for them, and it just adds so much to the track. Like, let's hear it without it. FXs. As you can hear, like they add so much like emotion and feeling to the song, which I love. Like I love using FXs as ambient noises and giving emotion with them. So yep, that's the FX part, and I think we are done with all these elements of this track. Maybe you're asking why you have this, like this thing, and this thing over here, because I always reference my mixes. So there is this coffee shop track that I referenced for the arrangement and for the mix of this track. Also this my old tracks, I also reference the mix of them. When you're making a track, your ear starts to lie to you because you're listening too much and it just gets used to the sound, and you're feeling like, oh, it's a great sound, it's a great mix, but in reality it's not. You need to reset your ear. In order to do that, you need to have some reference mixes. You need to compare your track with others' tracks which sounds similar to your tracks. That's why I use reference tracks as well. I will probably make some videos about like reference tracks and how you can really get the benefits from them, and mixing wise and arrangement wise and decision making wise. So yeah, that's how we did the track. Talia made an amazing job in this track, as well as Ayberk. I think I'm very happy with the finished product, and I hope you learned something today, and I hope you had a lot of fun as well. So yeah, this is the end of the video. Let me know what you think of this video in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe for more content like this. So yep, I think this is the end, and I'll see you later, alligator. Bye.